Half an hour to do this. Hopefully no distractions, no motorbikes, no building, no construction. Hey guys, welcome back to another DJI Air 3 video. And this week we're talking about QuickShots and MasterShots. Yep, I compiled these two together and you'll understand why later in this video. Now my returning subscribers have heard this already, but I tell you what, you could already do me a favor by hitting that like button, and that way it tells newer viewers that you enjoyed this video, you found it helpful, and maybe tag them in the comment section down below. It might be something of use to them. But if you're new, my name is Dimitrios and I create videos on drones, photography and everything in between, and it's a mix of entertaining and educational content. Now, after several years of flying the DJI Mini 2, the reliable DJI Mini 2, I finally upgraded to the DJI Air 3, and I was just overwhelmed by how many more features there were compared to that drone. So I thought, why not share my journey learning this drone and all its capabilities and sharing that with you. So think of this as a series of videos as a guide to help you get most out of your drone. That being said, let's get started. My laptop's right here in front of me, so I can read some notes out to you. I don't have a desk, so just imagine there's a desk here. First of all, let's cover QuickShots and how many options you actually get with it. So with QuickShots, there are 5 options. There is Droney, which essentially the drone flies back while increasing in height, locked on a subject. Then you have Rocket, the drone just flies up while pointing the gimbal down, locked on a subject. Circle, almost self-explanatory at this point. It just flies around in a circle while locked onto your subject. Helix, now the drone here spirals while increasing in height, locked on a subject. And the last one is an asteroid. Essentially the drone flies back and upwards, and then it takes a 360 photo. Now this isn't a true 360 photo, it's just a quick one, but you'll see in a moment. Now, as for camera settings, you can shoot in auto and manual, and then the 4 options available is 1080p for both horizontal and vertical, 4K horizontal, and then 2.7K vertical. Within manual mode, you can adjust the white balance, the frames per second, and the color profile, as well as the ISO, shutter, and exposure value. You have the option for both 24 and 70mm, except for asteroid. There is no 70mm asteroid, but that's great. So many options available with the Air 3. Now during my testing, I did find some weird glitches. So I will cover these quickly here and I'll go more in depth a little bit later. So the first thing I noticed straight away was that when you are setting the distance for Droney or Rocket, I have my drone set in feet. I just like flying in feet. Other people like to fly in meters, which is perfectly fine. But I did see a discrepancy when I was trying to choose feet and it was showing me the meters number. And obviously it can't be 360 meters because that's much further than feet. Plus, if you're doing a rocket, 360 meters, you're already over the illegal limit. The numbers also varied for each QuickShot type. So Droney and Rocket had a different amount of distance. For circle, there are no parameters to set. Other than the direction, you would just set the distance with using the drone's gimbals. But I would suggest to keep this within 50 meters. With Helix, again, you can set the direction and the distance was between 40 and 360 feet. Again, the numbers completely varied for each QuickShot. And then Boomerang and Asteroid, you can set the direction and just position the drone's distance again. Another thing to note here is that when you are doing quick shots, it doesn't have to be specifically people. It can just be an object like a tree or a building. All you have to do is literally just draw a box around that and then perform the quick shot action. MasterShots, what is it? This is new to me, and obviously I'm aware of this as I've seen in the past with the Mini 3 and the recently released Mini 4 Pro. And I was like, MasterShots is basically just a series of quick shots, if you want to think about it like that. And the drone just takes care of everything for you and stitches the video. I'll give you my view at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. So the options available for this, again, you have both 24 and 70mm, great. However, with the 70mm, it is limited with the maneuvers, as I've read from the instruction manual, and I did do a quick test and didn't really see anything different. You can shoot in either auto or manual. And again, you have the same options as before, 1080, 4K horizontal, and then 2.7 vertical. And then you can shoot in either 30 or 60 FPS. However, with MasterShots, you have a different set of parameters. You can choose the width, length, and height. And from each of these, you can select whether it's small, medium, or large. And you can see this visually on the map on the bottom left-hand corner. If you take a look at that, when you change the parameters from small, medium, and large, the box increases. So this is where the drone's going to be flying. And you can already visually see the drone's flight path as well, as this is indicated in green. If you just tap the map enlarges and you can just see the flight path that the drone is going to be taking. So if you have any obstacles in that area, just pay attention. When selecting your parameters, the drone will give you an estimated time for completion. Sometimes it gave me the option to select the start point from the current location or leave it automatically, or it just didn't say anything and it just decided to just do whatever it wanted. You also do not need to select a human subject. It can be just a random object like a tree or a building again to perform those actions. Now, when you hit record on MasterShots, you can see the actions being performed as it's calling them out on screen. So whether it's a droney or a rocket or half circle, you do see that visually on your screen, on your DJI RC2 or within the DJI Fly app on your mobile device or iPad. Now on the right-hand side on the record button, you can see that the outside of this is split off into segments for each action, and it has a percentage complete at the bottom of this. Now, when performing MasterShots, it seemed to do the same series of actions on the occasions that I tested this out. I didn't see much difference. So how much uniqueness are you really gonna get using MasterShots if it's going to be the same maneuvers every single time? And this just leads on to my findings from doing both QuickShots and MasterShots. So let's discuss those. So firstly, some safety concerns. If you think the drone's gonna hit something, you can hit the pause button. The drone will just pause in the air, and then if you click it again, it will just continue shooting its mode. So at least you're not gonna get an interruption there. However, if you did touch the gimbals, it will stop recording, and that's a good thing. So for safety concerns, if you think it's gonna hit a tree or something else, you can literally stop that by just moving the gimbals. During my testing on this day, it was a bright, sunny day. It didn't occur to me either that I was wearing tan shorts and I was on the pier, which was almost the same color, and the only thing standing out was just my white t-shirt. I think a combination of the colors blending in and the really bright conditions made it difficult for the drone to track me. As we can see from several attempts when performing each quick shot, it was losing me and it was just putting a pin instead and just tracking that exact point rather than me. So I think if I tested this in more ideal conditions, it would probably work better. But this is a good note to see. Like, this is the whole point of these tests, so we can see that, oh, bright conditions aren't gonna work well, as well as very dim conditions. If the drone can't see you in very low light conditions, it's gonna suffer the same fate. But it's good to know. No drone was lost in the making of this video. When I was going through the DJI manual, it does say you can track moving subjects, and I have seen this in the past from other YouTube creators when they were using this as tracking modes. So people would select themselves as an orbit while they'll be walking. And I did test this, but again, just the conditions of really bright light and my blending in shorts with the pier made this difficult for me to walk and have the drone track me. But I know this will work if it was in more ideal conditions. So yeah, just note that if you are going to be doing this with moving subjects, just slow moving ones, not fast moving ones. Another thing I noticed when doing my testings, now I don't think this is specifically related to QuickShots and MasterShots, but drones in general, that tall buildings and like metal objects, you want to stay clear of. I tried to move location to do MasterShots, and I wanted to capture this metal thing that was in the middle of Molos. And as soon as I got near it, threw off the GPS, no GPS signal, it was struggling, and I was worried, not that the drone was going to get lost, but if something had happened, it wouldn't return properly, and that was the interference from the metal object. As soon as I moved away from it, got my satellites back. So just pay attention with your surrounding areas that there's no like strong metal objects that are going to interfere with the drone's compass or GPS. I think I ran through that pretty quickly, which I'm impressed with. What do I actually think of QuickShots and MasterShots? I don't know. I can't say I would use this a lot personally. I find them repetitive. There's not much uniqueness either. You do have to almost pre-plan the shots, which can be a benefit because you know the maneuvers that are going to be performed. I think it would be cool for like friends. That way you can just share that with social media. Just put it on normal color profile so you can avoid all the post editing. I don't think I would use this professionally. Again, if you're using MasterShots and it's doing the same maneuvers every single time, and you're doing that for several different clients, how are you going to differentiate from one job to the other? So yeah, this is something that I wouldn't use professionally. More of a gimmick. I would like to see improvements from DJI. Maybe you can select different options. Maybe have like 3 to 5 different styles or maneuvers that you can select, and it will give you an example of each one, what you would like. That might be a good thing to see improved in the future. DJI, if you're listening, let me know your thoughts actually. What would you like to see improved with QuickShots and MasterShots? Do you even like them? Do you use them? What do you use them for? I do need to play around with this a little bit more, but I don't think I'll use it as much compared to hyperlapses, which I did last week. So if you missed that video, click up here. I can't remember which way it is, but just somewhere up here, you'll see that video. And that means next week we'll be covering tracking, which I've left this later on in the series, but it gave me a chance to understand the drone a little bit more, and I have been playing around with some tracking as well. I have recorded some of those clips, but we're going to do a more in-depth dive into tracking because I'm finding these a lot useful with my videos recently. That being said, if there's anything you want to learn with the DJI Air 3, you want to learn it sooner rather than later, put a comment down below. Put a comment down below. And also let me know what drone you are currently flying. Is the DJI Air 3 one of those drones that you wish to upgrade to? So yeah, I am actually excited to do these tracking videos. Well, for me this week, for you guys it will be the following week, but we're going to be heading into the mountains, so there's going to be some really cool scenery. I did capture a lot last year with the Mini 2, but with the Air 3, it's going to be, yeah, just even better, especially with that 70mm, which is absolutely fire. That being said, subscribe for more videos on drones, photography, and everything in between, and I'll see you in the next video. Maybe check out this video that YouTube recommends as well. See you over there. Peace.